How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode review. Today's episode is episode 6, also known as Just Jen. And before I go any further, I'm just going to ask you to please hit the like button, leave a comment down below. I want to hear what you think of the show or the reviews, just anything in general that deals with the MCU or the format in which I do these videos. And do not forget, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. Where do we even get started? Well, I like to get started with this show with what I call the fun stuff. Now, last week, I forgot to mention, they always change these title cards. So last week when Tatiana was trying to trademark Jen's name, She-Hulk, it said She-Hulk by Tatiana. And this week it says Just Jen. Because apparently Jen has to go to a wedding from a old high school friend that has ties with her family. So much so that even that douchebag of a cousin, Ched, I thought his name was Chet, but Ched is going to be DJing the whole gig. I was kind of surprised he even knows how to DJ. But she doesn't want her to turn into She-Hulk, because when she showed up in a very beautiful dress, rocking some very nice heels, it was something that Luke, which is kind of funny that his name is Luke, but Luke, the superhero designer guy, gave her this as well. Looks good on her. Blue and green, two of my favorite colors. Looks pretty good. Let's talk about this fun stuff. We got not West Coast. We got a Great Lake Avengers. I don't even know what to call it. It's an Easter egg, I guess. The B plot of this story is that Nikki is going to be helping Mallory take on Jen's cases while she's away. One of the cases is a divorce case by a man known as Mister Immortal. Now, you all probably going, oh, this was just a funny throwaway character. Mister Immortal is part of the Great Lakes Avengers, which is funny enough because if my memory serves me right, I think the most famous person from the Great Lakes Avengers was actually Squirrel Girl, which they, because of people being very stubborn at Marvel, they tried to recant Squirrel Girl from being a mutant, just like they did Pietro and Wanda. But I'm pretty sure there's no way you're not going to have Squirrel Girl be a mutant at this point, right? Which, Great Lakes Avengers, unbelievable. Here, I'm going to show you. Oh, sorry. It's Great Lakes Avengers, but they showed up in the West Coast Avengers book. As you can see right there, first issue, that is Mister Immortal, with a guy that's basically a knockoff Mr. Fantastic, but he's not smart. He's just, he's a flat guy. But yeah, Great Lakes Avengers. They also call themselves Great Lakes X-Men, which here you might as well just take a look at that. Yes, that is Squirrel Girl with her pal Tippy Toe the squirrel. Dude doesn't die. He's been around for a long time, at least in MCU wise. He's been around for a long time. The character Mr. Immortal, also known as Craig Hollis, his origin is so weird because at his birth was the same time his mother passing away, and this entity known as the death urge promised to look after him. And at this point, just like, boom, he don't die anymore. He just doesn't die at all. Now, he's immortal via resurrection. In the comics, he's a highly skilled acrobat and athlete. That's it. He just doesn't die, right? And the way he tried to explain his powers to Nikki and Mallory was like, no, technically I do die, but I can't die. Which, dude is having issues. He's supposed to be getting a divorce, but he literally has 4 ex-wives and an ex-husband. He has 5 to 7 jilted exes. Which, good job, Marvel. You're showing bisexuality without throwing it in people's faces and being like, look at this guy. Look at him. Very, very nice touch. But even Mallory and Nikki were like, this dude they were going to have fun trying to get him to settle with his exes, which he cannot take confrontation, which is interesting because he keeps getting married, but he can't handle confrontation well. Literally, while the ladies were getting on his case about constantly backing out of relationships and marriages, he literally jumps out of the window, lands on a car, gets up, and just walks on, which is, of course, how one of his wives realized, oh, he really wasn't dead. What happened is they saw a video of a guy walking through traffic getting hit by cars multiple times, that's his deal. So I wonder if Big Bertha, Doorman, and Flatman, and Squirrel Girl are in this universe. Second thing I'll move on to is Intelligencia. Oh my God. So as of right now, Intelligencia is just a website where, they're capturing these superhuman things that are going on. It's like one of those deep websites where they post all the conspiracies and stuff like that. But in this, they have footage and stuff of superhuman beings. And so what's a rundown? Intelligencia is an evil organization run by MODOK Prime. I'm sorry, MODOK Superior. So this is either confirming MODOK or maybe the leader. The ending of this episode where we see someone spying on Jen while she's at the wedding with this guy, Josh may or may not be evil. They're like, yeah, we confirm She-Hulk. They want to get a sample from her. People think it's the leader, even though the leader is supposed to be one of the main villains in the next Captain America movie with Sam Wilson. But who knows? It's kind of weird because Killian, I think his name, Killian from Iron Man 3, the dude who turned out to be a bootleg Wesker, is supposed to be MODOK, but we let Pepper Potts kill him for whatever reason. Anyway, Intelligencia, I can't even believe we dropped Mister Immortal and we name drop Intelligencia all at the same time. This is expanding. Like, for people that are probably like, no, there's no Daredevil in here, but man, there's no Daredevil. This show is establishing the world at large. So instead of we having I can't even poke fun at DC. I'm going to poke fun at all comic book movies. In all comic book movies, there's only one person in this world that does these things. Until you get the other movie with the person, watching their backstory of how this person becomes a superhero and watching their origins. I love that we don't need to know Mister Immortal's origin in this show. I love that it's very much implied when he had early stocks in Apple in 1981 and still had gold from his very first wife. Come on. Stuff like this is good. We don't need, you know what? I'm sorry. And I may sound elitist or I may sound like an a-hole. If you can't keep up, if your attention span is this big and you're too dumb to not put two and two together, this is why when you're watching a thing, shut up. Pay attention to what you're watching. Either don't enjoy it or do enjoy it. But a lot of times the answers that people are looking for, because I had people ask me questions, and sometimes it's like, yeah, the answer you're looking for was literally 2 seconds after you asked me the question. And things are right there. There's even people like that, there's some people that say there's no villain in here. If you didn't pay attention to when the Wrecking Crew were trying to get samples from her to give to somebody else, obviously there's a villain. But you know what? This is more of a fun take on the Marvel Universe to show, hey, there's superpowered beings. There are things from Asgard. There are people who have powers from all over. Matter of fact, if I remember the very first trailer, we're supposed to see Frogman sooner or later, right? Who also, I think he was part of the Great Lakes Avengers at one point in time. I think. Don't quote me on that. But they're super powered beings, whether they are important, whether they're minor, whether they are major. Like, everyone's not going to be Thor and Hulk and everyone's not going to be Spider-Man and everyone's not going to be X-Men, but pardon me, but this is to show, yeah, there are people out here with powers, and this is the world. Just deal with it, guys. I don't know. I say deal with it, and by deal with, I mean, if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's also cool. Just the constant complaining is typically when I'm watching something I don't enjoy it, I just stop watching it. But that's just me. What else? Oh, on the Intelligencia site, right before they click on the one where people are talking trash about Jen, where literally people want her dead. Before that, there are two headlines. One is talking about a 24-hour time loop. Now, initially, I was like, ooh, this could be talking about WandaVision, right? Where Wanda, anytime people came through, they were kind of in like a vortex, kind of. Or this could be alluding to things going on with the Loki series, which is funny enough because underneath that above that was a Loki Easter egg where they talk about a place called Cooksville. You're probably saying to yourself, oh, what's a Cooksville, Shane? Cooksville is actually the place that Sylvie bombed in an alternate timeline. So just gotta open your eyes. It's all there. But let's talk about the rest of the episode. The rest of the episode, Jen is more or less being a punching bag for everybody. I feel bad for her. You know, that the person she's supposed to walk down the aisle with is not actually a person. It's one of those ugly dogs who has an overbite and the little tongue hangs out. Dog is adorable, first of all. If you get to walk down the aisle with that dog, that's great. But you feel bad because why would they do that to her? Then the girl Lulu, who I'm gonna hold off judgment on Lulu, but Lulu, who seems like kind of a terrible person, wants Jen to just be Jen. Because if she's She-Hulk, everybody's going to have eyes on her, which I get it. Even though Lulu's wedding dress was kind of ugly. Very ugly. Very ugly. Very, very ugly. And then Titania shows up because obviously Titania just wants to beat the crap out of Jen. Literally. Somehow she hooks up with a guy that's on the groom side. Everybody's all happy to see her. And Jen's just like, I'm over it. I'm done. She's so done with this entire wedding weekend. She gets drunk as Jen. And it's very nice. Hopefully this Josh guy isn't evil. But to have someone go, well, I think you're pretty amazing, right? Not just She-Hulk, but you're pretty amazing. I really hope that this is a sincere person. Please be a sincere person. I don't want this to be I don't want this to be a thing. I don't want to be able to predict this. But the Titania fight, which is right about here. She hit her so hard, she knocked out her veneers. I don't know why people would get veneers. If your teeth are that bad, I guess you would need them. But some people do them just to have perfectly straight teeth. To each their own. Obviously, Titania was actually there to start shit with Jen. And while Jen is throwing up, because of course it's a cash bar, which Jen was like, of course it is. And Jen doesn't care. She's buying like $10 to $15 worth of drink at a time, and it's $5 for a drink. And throws up. Titania's like there, and then just whacks her, which I guess Jen's non-Hulk form can handle a lot of punishment too, because she got like punched and tossed by Titania. And she's just like, all right, transform. And she's like, I said I wouldn't. And she's like, it's not fun if I don't fight She-Hulk. Like, and we get to see Jen has double vision. She's like, well, hold on, just for you, just this one time. And she tries to Hulk out, but she's so drunk. She gets halfway there, breaks her shoes, and it's like, hold on, I think I forgot how. And once she turns into She-Hulk, it's like, yeah, I'm no longer drunk. I can beat your ass now. She does the coolest foot stomp. Just lifts her leg up and makes the kind of like a gamma wave from the Marvel vs. Capcom series and just sends Titania flying. They're punching, they're fighting, breaks her dang teeth. Everyone's taking pictures of it. She wanted to humiliate Jen so he can go on the internet. And she even said, I told you this wasn't over, didn't I? So this is her continuous rival. I will predict that if something serious actually does happen, she'll probably fight alongside her, being like, no one can kill you but me type of deal, which we don't have a lot of those in the MCU. I wouldn't mind that. It's pretty interesting because in the comics over the years, I can't remember what year. I don't know if that was the mid 2000s where it got to the point where the superpowered women and superpowered muscle people, they have their own fight club. And Jen is fighting Titania in a fight club. Like, you're at that point where it's like, hey, I'm going to stop being a villain now. I just want to get out this aggression. So we're just going to tussle. So I can eventually see that becoming a thing, which I hope it does. Which also included Ben Grimm from the Thing. From the Fantastic Four. He showed up thinking that they were fighting for real and it's just a fight club. And he's like, why didn't I get invited to this? Like, She-Hulk's comics show the Marvel Universe as a whole. Yeah, she'll have a villain of the week back in the old days. She'll have a villain of the week. She'll have her own personal journey to go through. But she shows the entire world at large. She helps Spidey. She helped him sue J. Jonah Jameson, which is great. She helps Spidey. She's one of the most recurring members of the Fantastic Four that's not of the original four. Like, she even outranks Spider-Man when it comes to joining the FF. So this is just how it is. Again, if you don't like it genuinely, it's fine. Those earlier complaints were kind of, dumb. But if you don't like it, it's fine. It's just, this is what it is. I'm thoroughly enjoying this because, one, it is not hour-long episodes. For people that can go and binge hour-long episodes of anything, hats off to you. I can't do that anymore, but I like to be able to sit down and watch something that's 30 minutes, and that's great. Now, if this was, truth be told, if this was like Loki or what's that show, WandaVision, and it was only 30 minutes. Actually, WandaVision did have a 30-minute episode, I believe, because it was supposed to be like television. So some of these things actually work, guys. But yeah, the Titanium fight was great. She stole a piece of the cake after people laughed at her. Lulu was okay with She-Hulk being She-Hulk, Jen being She-Hulk. Made a boob joke. You're big. Oh, your boob's big. Joke there. That's really all there is. I do like that Jen broke the fourth wall and said, yeah, we're doing a self-contained wedding episode in the middle of the season. And you know what? Weddings are just like that. They are sudden and abrupt. Touche, Jen. We also are confirmed that while she's drunk, she's been calling her cousin. I've been calling you for weeks. So she wants to keep that relationship going. I'm hoping that they're not discouraged from having another She-Hulk season, like season 2 She-Hulk. But I'm hoping that we do get more of those Jen Bruce interactions. We don't need him to keep per se for the whole series, but give me 3 episodes out of 8 episodes. Give me 3 episodes of Bruce and spread them bad boys out, just so I can be like, yeah, that's that Bruce banner in my veins. Is there anything else in these notes? Round 3 went to Jen. Obviously, Jen has just been kicking Titania's ass. No, I have literally covered everything. It is a commentary, though, that Jen is fulfilled with like her job. Things are looking up for her, but of course she's at a wedding. It seems like the only thing people care about is, are you with someone? Do you have a boyfriend? Yeah, I don't know what to say, Jen. That's very much very much a real life thing. We do get Nikki impressing Mallory with how she helped because Mister Immortal wanted to give them all everything evenly, and one lady's like, I was married to him for 7 years. Well, I was, why should I get the same as this woman for 3 years? Well, I had a kid. Well, that's your mistake. It was funny, but she was able to delegate those things very well. Mallory was very impressed to the point that Mallory even opened up about she's been married for 11 years. She has a kid. She's starting to bond with Nikki and Jennifer a lot, which I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Kind of shame. I wish we got more Wongers. Hopefully Wongers gets his own series, or we get some more animated stuff with Wongers and Madison. But yeah, that was this episode. I'll give this a 4 because while nothing major happened, no, that's a lie. I consider showing Mister Immortal, Intelligencia, and getting that flash at the end. I consider all that actually important. This is opening up the Marvel universe, the Marvel world, the Earth, the Marvel world a lot more than people realize. It's going to be just like Age of Ultron. People are going to look back and be like, oh, that was actually important. And you're probably going to go back and watch it again, or watch it for the first time if you haven't watched it. So I enjoy it. 4 out of 5. Next week, I'm just going to spoil it for it. Next week is Daredevil. So get ready to get your Daredevil fix. Although next week could be Frogman. Who knows? Only supposed to be 8 episodes. So I'm all in regardless. Please let me know what you think of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Even though I do jest and I do say some borderline rude things, I do want to hear what your opinions are. I will gladly have a decent conversation with you, and I will not be irate or belligerent. Guaranteed. As always, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, hit the notification bell even if you are not. Don't forget, you can share the video as well. Thank you so much for taking some time out to listen to me. Please be good, be blessed. Wash them hands, wear that mask, be safe out there, you all. Be good to yourself, be good to, everyone else. Either way it goes, please do not be a jerk, and I will most definitely see you all next time. She-Hulk with that.